First tonight, Donald Trump has defended his Attorney General Pam Bondi and said it was up to her to release any more records related to the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The US president has faced growing criticism, with some among his supporters suspecting the administration is trying to cover up details to protect the rich and powerful. Correspondents say this is clearly beginning to get under Mr. Trump's collar, because he keeps being asked about it, and every time he seems to express more and more anger about the case, while repeatedly saying that Pam Bondi should release whatever is appropriate. They say those on the conservative right had believed that Mr. Trump would release everything related to this case because he campaigned on it, but clearly this hasn't happened.
I understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think, well, really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Donald Trump. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now on the line from London by the international affairs analyst, Dr. Marek Laskiewicz. Good to see you, Dr. Laskiewicz. And Mr. Trump saying that it's boring information, but if it's anything credible, then release it. I mean, how significant is the pressure on him and the US Attorney General to release this information and make it public?
Well, he is coming under increasing pressure for the very simple reason that people are still interested as to who attended the Epstein parties, and above all, was the president there. There are pictures of him, and it's quite clear he doesn't want all this to come out. That's the implication anyway. And also other people who he might want to protect. And the point is that many people don't see why they should be protected, considering the parties were illegal. And this is going to run and run until either credible information is given finally to the public, or they find a way of blanketing it out, which is acceptable.
But I mean, why has Mr. Trump's base and the entire political spectrum bought into these claims of what might be a cover-up and perceived hypocrisy, bearing in mind, of course, that there are political opponents of Mr. Trump who would want to capitalize on this?
Well, because America is a Puritan country, ultimately, and these parties of Epstein were for the rich, illegal, involving underage females, were, of course, seen to be not appropriate in America, period. And for many people, this is unacceptable. If you remember when Donald Trump had a parade, there were people going out with signs saying "No Kings." America is, at the end of the day, a people's democracy, and they don't like the rich indulging in illegal activities, which are also against their Puritan values.
And I think a lot of people want to know, don't they, whether there is a definitive list of bigwigs that could be released. I mean, Pam Bondi had hinted at that at the outset and then said that there isn't any list. I mean, do you think there is one, or do you reckon a lot of that is just speculation?
Oh, I think there is a list. The question is whether it still exists. There was a list because, for very obvious reasons, when he was inviting people, he had a list of people whom he contacted. And so there was a list. The point is whether it still is extant. I would think that, on balance, it probably is, as far as one can tell. However, the point here is that if there is such a list, as you say, it would involve not only the president, but other people as well, including other presidents, including other important people, and certainly all accounts do point in that direction. It could be, in that sense, as big a problem for Donald Trump as the Watergate files were for Richard Nixon some 50 years ago.
Well, interestingly, I mean, it was Donald Trump and his political allies who were really fanning the flames of this conspiracy for years. And Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, apparently fanned it as well when she came into office. And now their supporters expect them to follow up on investigating it and releasing this information.
Yes, it's kind of weird, isn't it, why they actually did this, the fanning bit. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, is the sort of popular saying. And it would appear that while fanning these flames, they may well be engulfed by the very same flames. I think the reason why they fanned them was they found a popular topic and they used it in order to gain power, let's say, win the election. And now they want it all suppressed. At the end of the day, the people whose interest was excited by them now want actually to know about all this. And from that point of view, it depends whether President Donald Trump can indeed switch on the electorate in order to win an election and then simply abandon whatever he used. Politicians, of course, have been accused of doing just that and other things, simply taking up topics and dropping them at their whim. But please remember, Richard Nixon, at the end of the day, all the Watergate tapes were handed over.
Indeed. I mean, I find it's interesting that, as you said, I mean, in essence, the fanning of the conspiracy theories that Trump and his political allies did is coming back to bite him now. And of course, Elon Musk waded into it, didn't he? When he had that big fallout with Donald Trump, Mr. Musk had suggested that Trump was on this list, even though there's no evidence that he is on that list, or even that such a list exists.
Well, yes, the point is that there was a list, presumably. Now it's gone because he'd have kept, obviously, Epstein would have had lists in order to invite people. That's quite clear. Does it still exist? Number two, President Donald Trump, there are photographs. Elon Musk has suggested he was there. The point is that the implication is that President Donald Trump could be engulfed by those flames. I think personally he feels that the electorate can be simply turned on and off at will. 1 minute he can say something, next minute not. And of course this is quite his normal behavior in other areas as well. Tariffs are on, tariffs are off. 1 minute he's pro-Russian, next he's anti-Russian. When dealing with Donald Trump, it is very hard to have a stable policy. However, what is clear is if the people push, then they have succeeded in the past, Watergate being the key example. So this is going to run for some time.
And of course, none of this will prejudice Jeffrey Epstein because he's dead and can't be prejudiced. And it doesn't sound like it's material that's so inappropriate that they can't release it.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know. Apparently it is quite sordid, and I think that could damage President Donald Trump's reputation with the right. The right wing in America is a Republican party. It does not want kings, please remember. And secondly, it is Puritan. It just doesn't like that sort of thing. And therefore, it could damage him. However, it could help in one respect. It is said, and this is another conspiracy theory, that other nations have got hold of something like this list and could well therefore be trying to utilize them to pressurize Donald Trump. Well, again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes out. The point is, once it's out in the open, whatever problems he faces will be out in the open, and it will not be possible to pressurize him. So from that point of view, it would be very good to have it out in the open, this whole list.
So what do you reckon is going to happen next?
I think he will try to not divulge this list for some time. And the key point is how far his supporters, the MAGA supporters, in particular the senators and so on, from his party insist if they push hard enough, they can get these files, assuming they exist, as you say, still, published. I think certainly more material does exist to be published. President Donald Trump said there was something, because that's what he's referring to when he said it was quite sordid. So therefore, more data, more information can be released. I think eventually that data will be released, quite possibly within the week or two, because the pressure is mounting. But whether they will actually come out with the list that everyone's waiting for, which will prove conclusively that President Donald Trump or whoever else was there, that's another matter. Because if it doesn't exist, they can't release it. So therefore, I assume what will happen is more material will be released, which is actually not going to affect anybody important, including President Donald Trump. But there will be no list released because they'll carry on asserting no list exists.
And it's interesting that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is Republican and a staunch ally of Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, has now joined the people who are calling for that list or for that information to be released. We'll watch and see what happens. Dr. Marek Laskiewicz, the international affairs analyst, talking to me there from London. Thank you very much indeed.